going on, guys? Snag here, and it's time to review round 22 of the 2024 NRL season, guys. And look, we had some pretty good games of footy. It definitely didn't match up to the weekend before, but we got what we knew we were going to get. We crossed some teams off playing finals footy this weekend, and we pretty much confirmed a couple as well, which is pretty crazy. So things are looking good, guys. Let us know how you did on the punt this weekend. Let me know how you went on the tips, guys. We had a pretty horrible weekend on the punt. Double ups were not hitting. We're hitting heaps of legs, but just one thing wasn't hitting or something like that. We weren't too far off. I was sort of saying on our kick stream today, I was like, probably trying to do a little bit too much gut mixed with numbers. Like, probably trying to... Well, I thought the Warriors... This is a good one, actually. So the Warriors versus the Eels, I thought the Warriors were going to win this one. And we got the unders right. We've had 52 or 4 or whatever. Great. But then we had the Auckland Warriors... No, it's the New Zealand Warriors now, isn't it? Showing my age. The New Zealand Warriors to go over their totals, when really I should have picked Parramatta, because the numbers actually said Parramatta were going to hit their numbers. And took the Warriors because I thought they were going to win, when really I should have only looked at the data and go, it doesn't matter if I think the Warriors are going to win, just take the numbers that make sense. So I think I'd have to, I had today off the punt, which is Sunday when I'm recording this, and I think I just have to go straight numbers and not worry about who I think is going to win the game at all. Just have to remove head-to-heads completely out of it this year, because there has just been so many damn upsets this year. It's been insane. So yeah, that's what we're probably going to have to do on the punt moving forward, guys. It's been really good discussing the punt with you guys. We did start our Discord server. If you do want to join, guys, I'll leave a link in the description of this video. And also been punting, obviously, with Dabble. And also I've added Pickle Bet as well. Great for double ups, man. I've been loving Pickle Bet. So I'll leave the link in the description of the video for this one, guys. Now, let's get to the games, get to the ladder, and then talk some footy. How good. All right, Cowboys get it done, 48-30. Eels knock the Warriors out of contention of finals. They're Gornskis, 30-20. Roosters, no one played defense in this. 74 points in 80 minutes. That is insane. We took the overs in this one. And I saw one of the bros took the unders. Poor lad. I hate when you take the unders and like 70 points get scored. You're just like, what an idiot. What an idiot. You just feel like the biggest idiot. We all lose punts, but when you lose one like that, you're just like, man. Titans defeat the Broncos. See you later, Broncos. Storm lose. Sorry, Dragons. What a win against the Storm. First win in Melbourne since, what was it, 25 years? Absolutely insane. Sharks in an absolute poo slinger get it done against the Rabbitohs. Clutch Cleary comes up clutch again, defeating the Knights and pretty much knocking them out of contention as well. I think they're red pen worthy. We'll have a look in that. And Doggies scrape home against the Raiders and a much needed bye for the Sea Eagles. All right, guys. So with the Storm losing, Penrith closed that within one win, and they do play each other not next week. No, so not the week coming, but the week after. And Sharkies and Tigers, and Sharkies and Roosters, tied there, 3rd and 4th. Much better for and against for the Roosters. Doggies sitting 1 game out of the 4 in 5th position, same as the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys do have one extra win, right? Yeah, so technically, guys, the Cowboys are ahead of the Doggies, but they're just because of the bye. I don't think the Doggies have any byes left, no. So the Roosters have one left. The Cows have one left, and everyone else in the top within contention has had all their byes. So Cowboys and Roosters sitting pretty. Like, you know, they've got a guaranteed 2 points up their sleeves. They've got a guaranteed freshen up. They've got all that stuff. So really, really good for those two, sitting really pretty this time of year. I think you really want to buy after round 20. I know a lot of teams get theirs used up around Origin time, but if you can have one after round 20, it's really nice. I don't think you want in the last 2 rounds. I think you want to play to keep your form into the finals. But like I said, Seagulls just had theirs this weekend. Perfect. Now they've just got 4 or 5 games or whatever it is. Power home, do their thing. So really, really handy for the Seagulls who just had theirs too. Sea Eagles obviously got that odd point here. So that draw, we said this when this draw actually happened. I actually said, you don't know whether a draw is a good or a bad thing until you see where you end up at the end of the year. So it's been great for them. They've got a pretty good for against anyway, but it just puts them one game clear of this little glut here, you know. So really, really good for the Sea Eagles there. Obviously, they would have rathered the win. They'd be sitting, if they did get that win, they would be sitting just above the Doggies. They would have literally in fifth. So I guess you could say it worked a little negatively against them, but actually they were better in that game, weren't they? Warriors sort of stole that, didn't they? Yeah, they'd be a little bit gutted, actually, now I think about it. They didn't steal that one, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that sort of pans out for them. And yeah, Dolphins now out of the 8. Is that the first time for the year they've been out of the 8? They've been pretty much in the 8 the whole year. Canberra Raiders really needed this win, and we'll get to that in a minute why. And Titans just keep doing their thing, keep winning. And like I said, Knights, Warriors, Broncos, I mean, mathematically I know, but nah, not happening. Not happening. Because the problem is too, like, these teams have to lose games too. Like, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. These guys, like, if we look at the top 8 here, if we look at the form, there's only 2 teams in the top 4 that are gone 2-2. So everyone else is in winning form. They're all winning plenty of games. There's no team like on the decline here. It's quite often, not always, but quite often there's a team. I mean, Sharkies sorta, but there's still 2 from their last 4. There's usually a team that's starting and they're starting to plummet quite. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you can sneak up on them. But Dragons 2-2, Seagulls are 3-1, Cows are 3-1. Like, everyone's sort of powering on in and around here. So yeah, that's going to play against these teams as well. So hard. So yeah, I don't think any of these teams will play. I think it's Raiders, Dolphins, and then everyone else is good. But we will have to wait and see. You never know. Look, Dolphins form. They are 4 of their last 1. They're killing it. Hottest team in the comp right now, the Titans. Imagine if Tino was still fit. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's get into it. Tigers versus the Cowboys. Look at these points. Now, I said in my TikTok video after the game, I've never seen this team score 48 points, and I thought a little less of them. Pretty damn average. Like, there was a send-off at the 49th minute. And look, when they were 13-13, they, to me, looked a little better than the Tigers, who were the worst team in the comp. They looked a little better. What was the score? They conceded the first one. They scored a couple. They got one scored on them back. It was a bit back and forthy. Olam went off. They went shred. And then, so Olam went off on the 49th minute, and then they went try 50th, try 53rd, try 50th. And then after this point, I don't think they were the better team. And it wasn't even like... It wasn't just like... They just... Even when they did shifts, they didn't create numbers on an edge and they had an extra play. It was just a whole lot. I wasn't very impressed. Look, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I think they've been playing pretty good footy. I've been pretty high on the Cowboys lately. I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that they just took their foot off the gas a little bit, chucked it in neutral and rolled down the hill. But I'm just saying I wasn't that impressed. They're going to get creamed. Like, yeah, I don't think the coach would be happy with that. I really don't. This is the one too. I bloody had Tigers under 29.5 points. I was like, come on. Maybe that's why I was disappointed at the Cowboys, because they ruined my multi. But yeah, so... it was just little things too. Like, I don't know, like Cowboys fans, Tuolangi just looked lazy. Like, even when he was scoring tries, he sort of like waddled out. Like, it was just, I don't know, I just felt like it was a bit of a lazy effort. A lot of the time, I saw a lot of laziness in there. I mean, Cotter and Tamalolo were out in the middle there, but I just felt there was another one too. I think they scored a try on the edge. And who was it? Someone scored a try on an edge. And instead of like, it would have made it a hard conversion, and everyone just stopped and stood there, and I can't even remember who it was, just jogged all the way under the post and put it under the black dot. You don't do stuff like that, man. You got to cut them off and at least make them kick a hard conversion. Just little things like that I wasn't overly happy with the Tigers, but it was, like I said, I was not impressed at all. I thought a little bit less of them after it, but I will give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I've written here, Tuolungi just looked so lazy. Oh, Val Holmes. Like, he was just awful, man. He was just absolutely awful. And this is the thing with the Cowboys. I like the team. I think they're doing good. But like I said after this team, they look like they're playing definitely good enough to play finals, but it looks like they're that team that's going to go out round 1 or 2. They don't look that competitive at all compared to the top 3 teams. Dearden is dead set wearing a cape at the moment. I've just been so impressed with him. I've never been a huge fan. I didn't quite get the hype, but I am genuinely impressed with him all year, but especially since around Origin time. And Chad Townsend is just sucks. Like, he clearly has one foot out the door. He does not look good at all. I was just not impressed with him at all. Surely there's a better option there than him. He's clearly just thinking about his podcast and moving to Sydney. Was not feeling him at all. And I don't know what the hell's happened to Val Holmes' defence, but it was quite funny. He's always been a pretty good defender. And then last year he got fully exposed a few times, but one against the Tigers where I think he leaked 4 tries. Was it Safed Toa or something? Scored 4 tries on him, literally through him. And it was just, he missed 3 in this and 1 ineffective, but he only made 4 tackles, so he literally missed half his tackles. Chad Townsend 5 with 4 ineffectives is just, I don't know. Put it this way, with Chad there, I don't think they're doing a deep finals run. I like everything else about the team. I thought McKelly came on, was good. I like Nana, I like Lukey. I thought McIntyre was great. McLean was good. Robson was good. Dearden was good. But it's just Chad. I don't know if they're going to do anything with him there. I really don't. It's just, we'll have to wait and see, guys. But not very. Like I said, it's pretty weird to give a team not a big rap when they won by 40, but I even think Cowboys fans out there, and let me know if you are a Cowboys fan, am I being fair here, but because I was nut riding news last week. I'm like, I think they're going to go run Smokey for top 4, blah, 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 all that stuff. I was really liking them. But just Chad really... I'll give you a little scenario, guys. Hear me out about the Cowboys. I think they fumbled the bag over the last 3 years. So I love Drinky, right? But I think he's actually a half himself. His ball playing is better than 85% of the halves in the comp, I reckon. I don't think he's not really that. I think the style of fullback now that suits you is the Hammer, the Dylan Edwards, that sort of style of fullback, turbo, it's run, all that sort of effort, meters, all that stuff, and then you still have to ball play, but ball play in second. Turbo's not known as a ball player, but broken play ball. So, I think they focus their team a little bit too much on, keeping forwards. And, obviously that we can sit back and say it was a bad signing now, but Jason Tamalolo on that $1 million for 10 years. But I personally would have not got Townsend. I know he had that one good year, not got Townsend, $800K a year. Probably could have kept Hammer, moved Drinking to 6, Dearden into 7. And just think about that for a second. Right now, Cowboys' spine could be Robson, Drinky, Dearden, Hammer. I like that a lot better. I think that would be a problem. Is that the best spine in the comp? Probably not, but it's top 5 at absolute worst, top 3 maybe. Storm's spine probably has them, but that's a spine. That's a real nice spine. I think Dearden can play 7. I think he's got that IQ and all that sort of stuff. I just like him a little better at 6 in this situation, but I think they fumbled the bag a little bit. They just had, I think it was last year or the year before, they had these 7 genuine first grade second rowers. I'm just even if, this is the thing, people don't understand, the least you can spend on a player in the comp is $150K. You got 7 that are NRL quality. It's $700K cap, you know what I mean? Over $1 million of your cap. And I do think they fumbled the bag a little bit there. I look at Drinking, I just see a mint number 6 that swings both sides and does his thing. And to me, Chad, when Chad first got signed and they had that pretty good year, I think they made a semi-final. We were sitting there going, great signing from thing, but he hasn't really produced since. So $800K over 3 years, $2.4 million. You got a decent season out of him once. So in hindsight, I think they did fumble the bag there a little bit. But look, they're still there. I was just thinking that the other day. I was watching Drinking, oh man, his ball playing so good. And he's got to do all this other fullback stuff as well. I'm like, imagine if his only job was to run and ball play. That'd be real nice. Obviously tackle too, but yeah. I mean, Val Holmes, I sort of sprayed him a little bit there, but geez, not bad numbers. But they scored 48 points, so not surprising. But yeah, shout out to the Cowboys, but they got to be better. Now let's have a little look see at their run home. We'll see how they sort of where they're looking. They got the Broncos in next week. I know that. Where the bloody hell are they? Huge game for them here. Yeah, so Broncos, they look like the much better team. They should get that done. Then they've got the Raiders. If they can go 2-2 here, which is very doable, Raiders away from home. Saturday, 5:30, sort of a day game, sort of half day, half not. And then a bye, that's great. Now, they're probably going to drop this Storm game, but this is still nice. In my opinion, 3 winnable games. No, sorry, yeah, 1 winnable, probably a little out of their league, and then winnable. You know, they're still a shot for the top 5. So they've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 available points. They've got 2 wrapped up. So they need at least 2 of these games. They can lock it up now and they're going to be sitting pretty, but you don't want to go loss on your run home either. So, and Bulldogs and Cows look, they're going to be pretty damn close on the ladder. So that could be for a home final, that could be for a top 4 spot. So this is going to be a big game, absolutely massive. All right, Warriors Eels. Eels, first 15 minutes, Eels were great. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. No errors for 15. There was no errors from either team. No penalties. Another 15 minutes back and forth. I was just sitting there going, man, this is absolutely crazy. But again, Sean Johnson, they just offered nothing in attack. They had the better of the run than Parramatta at the start. They had the better field position, all that stuff. And they just kept hitting Kurt Capewell flat. Kurt Capewell is not Ola Kawatu, bro. He never has been, never will be. He's not David Fafita. Why are you hitting him flat? What is that going to accomplish? To be honest, I don't know if it's DJ Anasi or Dylan Brown on his side. I can't remember, but they're both pretty good defenders for half. He's not going to break those guys one-on-one, and they'll get in 2 or 3 in the tackle anyway. He's not that sort of guy. He's not going to run over average defenders, let alone if it was Dillbags or whatever. Just didn't understand it. There was space. There wasn't much space, but there was space on the edges. They just didn't capitalise, and it was just, again, they just didn't throw the footy around to the last 10 minutes of the game, and they actually looked pretty dangerous then. So, I've written down here, Waz offense made Parramatta's defense look like Penrith's defense. Parramatta have been leaking like a sieve, and they couldn't crack them for the most of the game. They scored 3 tries in the last 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So for Parramatta's horrible defense, absolutely horrible defense. Look how many. They've leaked 554 points, the 546 points. The top 8 teams are in the 300s and 400s, and it's just too conservative, man. Not just little things not contesting bombs, all that sort of stuff, and it was too mundane. It's they trust their systems too much. Other elephant in the room, just the 2 things here. I do think it is time for SJ to hang him up. I don't think he was that bad. I'm not sitting here bagging him, anything like that. What I would love to see the Warriors do for next year is hang him up and genuinely build for next year. They've got some forwards sitting in their extended bench and on the bench and all that sort of stuff. They're losing guys like Pompey and a few other guys at the end of the year. I think I think they really need to look to next year because I think they can go good next year. I think Webster is a good coach. He just made a few L's this year. I think they've got so much good young talent there that I think they really need to build for next year and just be like, you know what, don't worry about this year. It'd be hard to sort of say, but I don't know, mate. They're not going to drop SJ, but you get what I'm saying. Like, just build for the future. I'd be putting RTS at fullback. This is a bit of an L from Webster as well. I fully admire him giving CNK the fullback jersey at the start of the year to be loyal and all that sort of stuff. But at some point in time, you have to go, my best fullback's sitting out on the wing. The best RTS has looked all year is when he's had to slot in at fullback because of an injury halfway through the game. Whatever, stuff like that, but he's just. I'm not sitting here saying he would have made the finals, but I love CNK and I think he suited what they did perfectly last year. But they needed points this year, and he's a point machine. And Cooper Cronk said it, and if Cooper Cronk says it, you know it's right. You want your best players touching the ball as much as possible, and sitting out on the wing taking 8 carries ain't going to do it. So I think, like I said, I think he made a couple L's this year, but I really do think the Warriors can be better and have a good crack next year, but they really need to build to next year. I don't think they should just be trying to win every game this year. Like I'd be looking to build confidence in my young guys so they know they can come in and do a good job next year. So, for example, right, if you're 170 games deep on your career or whatever, 50 games, you're just going to take these games one game at a time. You know, maybe your effort's not fully. Maybe you're playing at 90% instead of 99% or whatever. But young guys, if you're under 20 games deep on your career and you're out of it, you still play every game like it's you're so amped to be there. So I'd be looking to do that. But Warriors is like, again, it's just we'll look through this quickly, but I'm pretty sure they won a lot of these stats. But Parramatta chanced their arm a little bit more. The Warriors ran for more metres, had more post-contact, less line breaks, didn't throw the ball around as much. Tackle breaks won that comfortably. Average set distance won that. Kick return metres won that. Didn't win the ruck. Offloads, they did throw a few more than normal, but Parramatta still threw the ball around a little bit more. And there we are, and again, like you see, like their numbers aren't bad. Like 26 missed tackles in a game's great. Just didn't do anything with it. Like when Parramatta shot offloads, you know, they spun it and looked to score off it, whereas Warriors is quite too conservative. But shout out to the Eels for getting a dub. That probably keeps them off the. And again, too, the Warriors, like Parramatta were due a win. Like Parramatta are sitting on the bottom of the table. But, you know, like I said, they're probably one of the best, literally last running teams I've ever seen play. And they're pretty good for the last running team. They're not good. But Chance, 315 metres, it's great. But can you remember Chance at all being dangerous and possibly scoring points? I really can't. Maybe he did at the end there and I was zoned out. DWZ, 204. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the Wars. Hopefully they can have a big off-season, rest, recover, come back stronger than next year. I want to see Warriors playing finals footy next year. Bring it on, Wars. Oh. Dolphins Roosters. Now, we did hit our pun on this one, thank God. Yeah, it was a bit of a bizarre game. Suaalii got over. He looked strong at the start of the game. Suaalii got over early, and then it saw Sam Walker with his chip and chases. Max Plath barged over. Then Sam Walker, another chip and chase. Was just crazy. Like, it was just absolutely nuts. Shout out to Perth, 20,000. Like, as if that's not an omen. I saw Guru post this. Like, Perth should be getting a team in 2027 for sure. There was AFL on that night. There's no Perth team playing, and they sold out the arena. I said this when we were talking about the new teams being announced, who it's going to be, and I said it has to be Perth. I said I know heaps of mates in Perth that don't like AFL will be number one in Perth. Like, West Coast and all that, they've been there forever. They're always going to have a fan base. People aren't going to swap from AFL to NRL. That's not happening. But there is heaps of people that live in Perth that don't like AFL. There's heaps of people in Perth that just love sport and would go to it. And there's heaps of people, heaps of Kiwis, plenty of Islanders and stuff too that, you know what I mean, they're probably rugby union fans first, but they will get behind and go to games. Maybe, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of fans too where it's like, okay, so the Warriors play there. Like, there is heaps of Warriors fans in Perth. They will go to the Warriors games. You know, the Brisbane Broncos, there's plenty of people from Perth there too, especially in mining and all that sort of stuff. When the Broncos play, they might get 3,000 or 4,000, you know, like Broncos fans show up. So they've got to put the next team there. It's but they just love their sport. Like, I think the UFC actually has, like, Perth has the record for fastest sellout. It sold out in like under an hour or something. I'm pretty sure it's Perth. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Perth. Yeah, look, these guys didn't play defense. Look at this. 11 tries, 11 conversions, 4 penalty goals. Absolutely crazy. I don't want to see this every weekend. Like, I like my good defense and all that sort of stuff. But this was pretty fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is a Super League sort of game. Heaps of points. Good fun to watch. Hammer was brilliant. Love watching Sam Walker play that unorthodox chipping and chasing. Playing outside your systems a little bit. Absolutely brilliant. I really loved it. What have I got? Oh, yeah, so it was a bit of a weird. I thought the Roosters were done when Lindsay Collins and Victor Radley knocked each other out. I was like, oh, they're done here. They fully KO'd each other. 20 all at the half. Sam Walker, it wasn't just the tries he scored. He scored 2, he saved 2, and he swooped back and just was back in, you know, like a ball that just get dribbled through, trap and scrap it and stuff like that. He was just everywhere. It's absolutely brilliant from him. Roosters, look, I couldn't tell if Roosters were like just bad defensively or whether they just didn't really care. They're just like, we're just going for a shootout. It was a little bit hard. Like, the coach will not be happy with it, but, you know, like, they got the dub, whatever. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. It was a bit hard. But let's have a look at the Roosters run home real quick and see if they can keep their top 4 spot. They do have the bye, which is cool. All right, so they got the bye, then the Eels, which they should win. Then they have the Titans, which isn't an easy win anymore. Then they have the Canberra away, so Canberra away from home. And then they have the Bunnies, and the Bunnies are obviously put the queue in the rack. So they're looking pretty locked for top 4 with this bye here. And then playing Parramatta off a bye. And Titans, you know, they've been good, but are they? I don't know. I think Titans are playing quite top 3 footy, which is where the Roosters sort of are. But look, they could drop one of these, but I'd say they're going to go 3 from 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they'll give them 2, 4. So we'll go 2, 4, 6. We'll say they lose to Canberra. 8. So 8 extra points, which is, yeah, well and truly going to put them up to 38. So I'd say they're playing better footy. They've got a nice run home. I'd say Roosters are pretty locked for 3rd. That's where it looks like they're going to sit, and it looks like they're going to play the Penrith or the Storm in the first round of the finals. Ooh, crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Dolphins, they've got a tough run home. They've got a tough run home. Let's hope. Poor old Finns. Their forward pack got so decimated. Fins up, baby. Where are you? Oh, where'd that go? Fins up. So they got the Wars next week, winnable. That's at home. Then they have the Dogs in Bundaberg. It's a Dogs home game. They've taken a Bundaberg. That's strange. But again, winnable. It's winnable. Doggies probably would be favourites, but it's winnable. Then they have the Storm. I don't think that's winnable in Melbourne. And then they have the Broncos, winnable, and then they have Knights. So it's a tough run home, but it's like I said, they can win 4 of these. So I'd say they should get 2 or 3. Let's say 2.5 games. What will 2.5 games get them? So if they win 2 games, so they're going to need to win 3 of their remaining to possibly scrape in. Their for and against is okay, considering the other teams around them. So they're going to need to win 2 of 3. So Dolphins can still make it. Dolphins are still right in the mix, guys. It's going to be close, but O'Sullivan wasn't great. It was actually okay. It was just, I just really feel like their forward pack's been so depleted. This Keeley dude, Bromwich, Nichols, Tavita was 18th man. Yeah, not too sure what happened there, but I think he was sick or something. But yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him. I think if they just had Flegler, I'd almost lock him in as playing finals this year, but they've been pretty depleted with him and Jack Wallace playing up as well, or whatever happened there. I heard some things, but I won't say them because I don't know if they're truth. I don't want to get sued for slander. Yeah, look, Roosters scary, but yeah, like I said, if they want to be they're going to play finals, they're probably going to make deep into the finals, but if they want to win a comp, they're going to have to tighten up this defense. I mean, yeah, they've leaked quite a lot of points. If we look at the ladder, I mean, out of the top teams, is this refreshed yet? Yeah, so they're not too far off. They're actually not too far off. Everyone's sort of blown it a bit out of proportion because there's been a few games where they've just had shootouts. Technically, I mean, they've only the Storm have only had 30 less scored on them. Like Panthers are about 100 under. So it's not that bad. So I wouldn't be panicking if I was the Roosters at all. At the end of the day, a win's a win. Right, Titans, Broncos. Now, I actually really liked how the Broncos started this game. I thought they looked strong, physical. They played outside their system a little bit. If you saw what I've been saying about the Broncos lately, it's like they just press. Kevy's just like press play on running shape for Reece Walsh out the back. Teams have watched so much. I guarantee you this, right? In all the tape watching that was done since the grand final last year to now, the most tape would have been played on Reece Walsh. You got to mix it up. Like, that was never gonna work like that again. And we were talking about Paps before in Melbourne. The reason why I like their offense, they mix it up with Paps. Sometimes he sweeps out the back. Sometimes they hit short. Sometimes they'll go outside, inside. Sometimes I go outside. Sometimes I go outside to Paps, then back inside to a front runner just to get a quick play the ball. Like, there's a lot of variations, a lot of different things getting thrown at you, and that's one of the reasons why Melbourne have scored so many points this year. Is they're throwing so much at you. It's like when you see Reece Walsh swing around and hover out the back, you know he's getting the ball. Like, they never hit. When have they hit Piakura flat lately? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just way too predictable. But I did like Reece Walsh chipping and chasing. He was trying. It was all effort. Unfortunately, the way the game flowed, I felt like Titans weathered the storm. They threw a few punches back, nothing crazy. I still thought Broncos were the better team at the half. What was the score at halftime? 18. Oh, that's right. I lost this bet too. I needed Broncos. I got a couple bad beats this week, and all I needed was Broncos to score over 18.5. And they're 18 at halftime. Like, you couldn't score a try against the Titans. Don't defend. Where was I going with that? I'm just fuming about my multis this weekend. All right, so yeah, okay, so that's what I was talking about. So so Titans weathered the storm. There was a couple injuries to Broncos, which fair enough, fair cop. They did technically have cover though. They did have front rowers on the bench. They did have Moser on the bench, who's a hooker who came on, and then Billy Walters has played halves before, so they had cover. It's not like they, lost a fullback and they had 4 props on the bench. They had cover. Obviously not as good as the players they rolled out there with, but they had cover. no excuse. Like that is Broncos got what they deserved here. They got pumped, and I just, yeah, they're Gonskis. It's not happening. So, Broncos left edge was just flimsy too. It was atrocious. Ezra Mann's tackling is so poor. It was really, really bad. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I've written down. So yeah, Titans weather the storm. They start to punch back a little bit. They punch back, and then pretty much they started scoring. And then Broncos they panicked. Like Reece Walsh after that point, I thought he was brilliant for the first 20, 25 minutes. But then after that, when Titans started throwing punches back, it was just panic footy. The amount of times Reece Walsh sprayed one of his players was insane. Like he threw a forward pass and someone dropped it, and he sprayed him. Like, okay, look, maybe the front rower overrun it, second rower overran it. Maybe it was his fault, but like, you know what I mean? It didn't look good. I'm like, you threw a forward pass, he dropped it. Oh, it's to Corey Oates, that's right. Corey Oates is awful. Time for him to head to the Super League, I'd say. There was a try scoring opportunity where if he was 5 years younger, he gets it. I think 98% of wingers in the comp would have scored it. Just so slow, that lumbering style and speed. He's just too slow. And I got to give Kevy credit. A lot of people were saying at the start of the year, why isn't he playing? That's why. He's very, very slow. Obviously, he was never quick, but obviously just that youth, he's probably just dropped a step or two in pace. And just, not good enough. It was, like I said, it would have been a tough, close call whether he made that try. But I'm telling you, 23-year-old Corey Oates scores that. And just with the speed that's available in all the teams these days, 95% of wingers score that try. Just, they would have peeled around the wing and then just like either would have had the pace, or because the fullback had to cover so quickly, you just step inside them, easy try. He got caught by the outside by the winger. He got run down pretty easily. So Broncos for me, look, they're done, and they just need a really big off-season. They've still got so much talent here. Corey Oates is washed, so Cowboys would come back in anyway. They're not washed at all. They just need a really good off-season, work on all their stuff, work on all their defensive structures, get back to just hard work, watch some tape on the Bulldogs, mate. Like, this roster is so much better than the Bulldogs, it's not funny. You should not get 48 points put on you 2 weeks in a row, or 46 and 40, whatever it was. Not good enough. But yeah, shout out to the Titans, man. Shout out to Keanu Kinney. Love watching him play. He's electric. And I heard it today. I could not believe this. I was just watching 360. Jojo Fafita was the fastest schoolboy in the country. I thought he looked like he had some wheels. So look at the pace. Like, you got Corey Oates versus like literally two of the fastest dudes in the comp. Jojo looked quick to me, but I didn't like. You know, some people don't look that quick. He didn't look overly quick to me, but yeah, it's just crazy. I thought Mo was good. I thought Xavier Wilson as well. He had a couple good carries, but yeah, just I sort of said at the start of the year, I thought he was probably a good year off becoming a real good forward. Like, you sort of saw there. He had a couple good games at the start of the year. But yeah, he probably needs another good off-season as well. But look, Broncos, they've lost Payne Haas now. Mam's gone. They're gone. But yeah, let's have a look at the Titans, though. Can they make it? Can the Titans make it? All right. So Sharkies, very winnable. Wow. It's almost even odds. Winnable. Dragons, winnable. Titans versus Roosters, probably a little out of their depth. Knights, Oh, and then they finished with the Panthers. Imagine if they made it all the way to about 8th and then the Panthers knock them out in the final. Oh, man, that would be absolutely awful. That would suck. But now you never know. I mean, Panthers might rest players this final round. We don't know. We really don't know. So, super interesting. But, yeah, shout out to the Titans. They did really well. Storm Dargans. Shout out to the Dargans getting a win down in Melbourne, breaking that hoodoo. Melbourne did look a little flat to me. They definitely didn't look like they were their best. But, look, I sort of had a feeling Storm were going to lose a game or two on the run home. Not because they were not playing that good or anything. I just was just like, they just look like a team that could drop a game or two on the way home. Like, that would letting in 28 points to teams and still winning games and stuff like that. And then if you do that, like, eventually a team will just stop a few of your tries and you lose the game. And that's pretty much what happened. I thought Storm had plenty of chances to score tries. I think this could have easily been 28-18 to the Storm, but Storm were gritty. Storm were real gritty, and they got it done. It was pretty interesting playing Nelson. I missed the first. Like, I literally started watching the game, I think, on the second carry, so I sort of missed why Nelson was starting. I didn't know what was going on there. So if you guys can fill me in a bit, but so Tui Kamikamica was out. Josh King. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what happened there. But, yeah, he played big minutes. And I really like Nelson coming off the bench. Looks much better as an impact. And Nelson was great for 25 minutes, but he just loses that little bit after he's been on the park 25 minutes. But, yeah, it was just a good, tough, gritty win from the Dragons. Yeah, strange game. Look, Storm won, run for more metres, had more post contact, had more line breaks, didn't have as many tackle breaks, ran set distance the same, offloads 10-8. Let's have a look at the missed tackles. 32 missed tackles to 23. Wow, that's pretty impressive from both teams. Yeah, absolutely nuts. All right, let's have a look at the Dargans. Let's see how they look for winning to make the finals. So they're going to need... They've got 10 wins, so they're going to need at least 2, probably 3. What's the Dargans run home like? Oh, sorry, my bad. Dargans. Dargans really rolls off the tongue better than Dragons. Oh, massive game. Huge game for the Dargans. Where is it? Nusra Jubilee Stadium. Let's preview this game real quickly. That's right. Doggies pumped them last time. Both teams coming off a win. That win hasn't registered yet. Those haven't registered yet. Oh, that is huge. Wow. When is it? Saturday. This weekend. Oh, no. Oh, no. 2-2, Doggies. So what happens? So if they win, they'll be on the same points as the Doggies. Way worse for and against. Yeah, this is a little problem with the Doggies I have, man. Like, I feel like they're playing a finals game every week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like every week they've got to win. It's weird that they're not, like, further up the ladder, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like Doggies have been winning heaps, but they're still, like, in a place where if they drop 2 games in a row, they're in a little bit of strife, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like they've been winning so much, like, 3-1, great month. I feel like, yeah, it's a little bit weird. I just feel like Doggies have been winning heaps, but yet, if they did drop this game, they're in a little bit of strife. So Doggies... and then they have the Titans, which it's winnable, but a tough game. Then they have Sharks again. Oh, no, they didn't have Sharks. What did I think they played Sharks? Then Para. Look, these are all winnable. Like, I know they got pumped by the Doggies, and Doggies are great, but, you know, that price is about bang on. We've seen plenty of teams paying $2 winning games this year. Titans, very winnable. Sharkies, probably the worst team in the top four. Definitely the worst team in the top four. Then they have the Eels, who might have completely rolled over by then, but also could pump them. And then they have the Raiders, who might have put the Q in the rack by then, or maybe they're playing for a final spot. So this could be for a final spot. You never know. Yeah, wow, really interesting. Darkins can make it too. They're a real good chance. They're a real good chance. So they're going to need to win two. 3 will get you in. So let's see if we can find 3 wins from. So let's just say they lose to the Doggies, beat Titans. Let's say they lose this one too. Then they have Para and then they should squeeze in. They're probably going to want to win one of these games big. So they're trying to help their for and against out a little bit because it is horrendous. It's the worst for and against in the top 8 by an absolute mile. Like literally a 180-point swing to the Seagulls. That is wild. But yeah, shout out to the Dargans. You're in the hunt, guys. You're in the hunt. I think when we looked at their run home, we sort of, like last week or whatever, we sort of looked at this game as a definite L. So now that they've won that one, all of a sudden their run home becomes a lot easier. So yeah, shout out to the Dragons. Shout out to Kyle Flanagan. And just remember, I say it every week, you guys were morals to win the spoon this year. Everyone had you for the spoon. Sportsbet had a market saying, would Dragons win more games than their buys, which was 3. Crazy. Oh, absolute poo slinger of a game. I was watching this one. Sharkies, Rabbitohs. What have I written down about this? Yeah, Sharkies were just awful. Like, I'll be just straight up. Sharkies got away with one here. If Trell and Walker in this game, Sharkies lose for sure. I think if just Walker's in this game, the opportunities the Sharkies gave the Rabbitohs in the first half, I think they win. Like they completed at 58% in the first half. Like it was just Bunnies just could not find points because they had no ball players. It was they just literally had no ball players and they just Jack Whiten's not a natural ball player. He can ball play obviously, but not a natural ball player, more of a runner, and Dion Tipea, and then Jai Gray's more of just the energy bunny, doing his thing, and Sharkies were just coughing up the ball all over the place as well. It was like they didn't care about this game at all, but they won it. And they're sitting in the top 4. I'm pretty sure they've got a pretty comfortable run home as well, guys. So we'll have a quick look at them, just a real quick one. But they've pretty much locked up a final. You need 12 wins to make the 8. They've got a very positive for and against. So they're playing finals. That's going to be good enough. They just one more would seal it, but I'm pretty sure it's already sealed with games in hand. But yeah, the goal's not to just make the finals and get bounced again, So I'm not too sure how far away Nico Hines is. Titans winnable, but again, not an easy beat. Money's even. Then they have Knights. They should get that done. Then they have a tough game against the Dragons. Then Warriors. And then the Seagulls. Real tough game. So they're going to win one of these. We just don't know which one, right? So they're playing finals, but not convincing. Not convinced at all. It's so weird. They were clicking so nice there. What'd they win? 9 in a row? Something like that? They were the shortest odds to win the minor premiership halfway through the year. Crazy. I really don't have much positive to say about this game. It was an absolute poo slinger. I thought there was some individual... I thought Will Kennedy looked so nice and sharp at the start of the game, but then sort of went away. Atkinson, just a bit of... He threw a couple forward passes, trying to throw end-over-end passes, cutouts. Got to spiral those, brother. Otherwise, they float forward. And it just really gives the appearance that they went forward. Fords just, their forward pack is so much better than Bunnies, but they just... You got Ueli, Rudolph, Jack Williams, Talakai, Royce Hunt, Oregon Kafusi against Moale and Kepi. They ended up 72 completion rate, which isn't good, but still. The Kepi outrun yous. Come on, man. Just an absolute poo slinger. But Like I said, I'm not writing the Sharks off because they might be a tweak or two away from getting it together. They've got the roster there, but I need to see something for them. Otherwise, they're just going to be that same old Sharks team that makes the finals, gets bounced. Have to wait and see, guys. All right, Panthers Knights. Now, let me have a sip of my amino acids before this. We were saying this on the stream. Knights, I thought, played awesome for what they had on the park. Lost Saifidi before the game. And we're just sitting there. We got to 14 all. And someone wrote in the chat of our kick on my kick stream. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have Nathan Cleary in your team right now? 2 minutes later, he's scoring a try to win the game. It's just think about Nathan Cleary's comeback since he's from his hamstring. 2-point field goal to win the game. Single-handedly scored 28 points, 3 tries, multiple try assists. Pretty much had involvement with every point scored. And then scores a clutch try to win the game against the Knights. He's levels above every other half in the comp. It's ridiculous. He is so damn good. It is not funny. And that's what people keep saying. Like, do you think this team could win the comp? Do you think that team can win the comp? I'm like, yeah, sure. But, it's going to be a close game. And Penrith are going to have Nathan Cleary in it, bro. Who's now got the confidence to know he can snatch games from anyone. It's hard. No one's really going to throw more at Penrith than what Broncos did last year. And he still snatched it. I'm telling you guys, appreciate it because I know people that are a little younger than me. I didn't even really get to see his prime, to be fair, but, a little younger than me, late 20s or whatever. And they're like, oh, man, I wish I got to see Joey Johns play. Or, man, I really wish I got to see Fittler play in his prime. You're watching our generation of him. Just please enjoy it. It's magic. What he's doing is absolute magic. He's putting up numbers that may never be replicated again. It's insane. I thought Longy was pretty solid coming in. These McLean boys. Penrith, we all know Penrith don't miss with their recruitment, retention, development, right? They don't. They haven't missed this decade. When I say this decade, I mean that since 2019 or 2020's on. For them to be locking up both the McLean brothers till 2028 tells me these kids are something special. That means they've seen something at training, at cup, wherever, that they're like, whoa, these dudes are our future. To lock up two, because the McLeans wouldn't be, they know their guns, so they're not going to sign on nothing till 2028. So they would have had to give them some money. Yeah, we could be looking at a possible Crichton here. I know it's a big call and I hate doing this. I'm normally the one saying, shut up, this guy's not the future, this. But they've clearly seen something for them to lock these McLean brothers up till 2020, and they move different. I'm pretty sure these McLean guys have just turned 18. They've just 18. Bro's born in 2006. Bro turned 18 4 months ago. He looks like one of the better centres in the comp. Not the best, obviously. He looks just to be clear, Crichton's the best winger in the comp. He was not this good at 18. No, straight up. He was I've watched Critter's first game till now. Religiously love him, legend. But he was not this good at 18 in the centres. In fact, he got bathed quite a few times. Crazy. I think how did Penrith just keep unearthing these guys? And his brother's I can't remember if his brother's better or what, but yeah, his brother's meant to be an absolute weapon as well. I think we've seen him once in the wing. He scored that hectic try. To me, where Penrith didn't run away with this game is I really feel like Fish was probably the piece missing. They just lacked that. You'd go Moses Leota, they just really that go in the Pistons, Moses Leota, Fisher Harris, Yo either runs as well, or then they hit their shape off the back of that. Eisenhoff's just not that good. He's all right. He's a very good rugby league player. But he's just good. He's not Fisher Harris. I felt like they did miss him a bit. Looked a little clunky in the first 20, but I know it's weird. and it was technically a close game, but I just never felt like Penrith were going to lose it. And I guess that's just because Cleary's there. And I think from memory, there was some pretty big numbers put up by some of the Penrith boys. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, there you go. On debut, 257 metres, 84 post-contact, 8 tackle breaks. Not bad. Isaac Tungo. A lot of people have been bagging Tungo the last 8 sort of weeks. I think Tungo is going to defend and attack better. The first 2 months of the comp, people were talking about him for Origin. I think he's going to defend a lot better and attack a lot better outside Liam Martin and Nathan Cleary both being back. Martin's been in and out of the team since Origin, obviously. A lot of Origin camps, and Cleary's been out the whole time. So now it is Cleary, Liam Martin, Tungo. I think that edge will tighten up a lot. And also, Sonny Taruva and To'o swapped sides. I'm assuming that's defensively. But yeah, Penrith are firming every week to win the comp. They're going to be so hard to stop just because their defensive system's so good. Their attack's pretty good. Nathan Cleary's kicking game, and just Nathan Cleary being so clutch. It's like when I used to watch Jonathan Thurston play, they didn't defend as well as Penrith did, but when Thurston was his absolute prime, 28 years onwards, Cowboys could be losing 10-24 with 20 to go. Thurston, bro. Just run you down. It's nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, look, I'm just writing off the Knights now. I thought they looked heaps better, but there's just going to be too many bumps in the road. Let's not even look it up. But yeah, the Knights are done. They're not playing good enough to win all their... This is the thing. People go, can they make it? Of course they can make it, but there's 5 games, 5 or 6... just say there's been 6 games left. Okay, you have to win all of them. When your last 6 games you've played, you've won 2 and lost 4. You're not going to now go on... You know what I mean? You're not going to flip it like that. It's outrageous. It's outrageous, chat. I thought Daniel Saifiti's first stint was incredible. Tries to McLean, Tungo, Cleary. But yeah, Cleary. I had him in as my try scorer too, thank God. Yeah, Penrith are just going to be hard to beat. It's just... Yeah, if they... It's going to be interesting to see if they really shoot for this minor premiership. That's what is really interesting. Actually, let's have a little look. Let's see who has the easier run home out of the Storm and Panthers, and let's have a little look at that, because that could be interesting to see, because it doesn't really matter if you finish first or second. It's the same result. You get a second chance in a home final, yeah? Well, that's right. Storm got them this year. So they're really going to want to win that one. So Storm have Bunnies, Penrith, Dolphins, Cowboys. It's not the easiest run home. I heard they're resting players for this game. I think they're prepared to drop one game and then they'll use this as a tune-up game into the finals. I don't like that strategy. I'd be resting them here, sort of. What if Paps gets a HIA and gets 11-day stand down? Oops. Just lost Paps for the weekend. But whatever. Bellamy knows what he's doing, bro. He's a pretty good coach. I don't know if you heard of him. All right, so look, they could... I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they will definitely drop one of these. Definitely drop one game. I don't think they're going to win all the way home. And possibly 2. And let's have a look at the Penny Panthers. Penrith. Penrith have Eels. Eels do like beating Panthers. I don't think they'll get it done this year, though. Then the one against each other. Then Panthers have Canberra. Rabbitohs, Titans. Panthers have an easier run home, just to be fair. Yeah. Man, Panthers might get it. Who you guys got, man? Penrith or Melbourne? And it might be that game in 2 weeks' time in Penrith. And I'm not too sure if Fisher, Harris and Edwards are going to be back for that one. That decides who wins the minor premiership. Now, if Penrith do win this one, they do have a slightly better for and against. I thought it was a little bit better than that. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit better than that. Anyway, yeah, so, but remember, if, let's just say it is roughly separated by 10 points or whatever, let's say Panthers win by 12, they'll go up 12, Storm will go down 12. Yeah, this minor premiership, just like last year, could be decided on for and against. You know what I mean? So if you win by 12 against the team, they minus 12, you plus 12. So that's sort of like double points in that one. So yeah, it really could. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So yeah, Penrith looking scary. Penrith looking real scary. If healthy, they're just going to be so hard to beat. On to the game of the round. Doggies versus the Raiders. Really enjoyed this game, and I saw someone comment, score didn't reflect. There was a Doggies fan, obviously. Score didn't reflect the game. Canterbury were better minute 1 to minute 80. Could not disagree more. Just being real, the only try Doggies scored that they just genuinely outplayed Canberra was this first Addo-Carr one. The rest was just Crichton being a psychopath and being the best player on the park by an absolute mile. Just chipping for himself, snatching bombs, kicking for Addo-Carr. It was clinical, man. Like, it was just critter. Just went to a new level. I think if you weighed up patches on who was better for what periods of time, I think Bulldogs were a bit better over the whole 80. Like, maybe they were better for 50 minutes and Raiders were better than the Bulldogs for 30. But, I didn't see it that way at all. I think Bulldogs fans are definitely looking through the Bulldogs shades at times. I thought they were, just put it this way, Critter didn't play last weekend against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs played incredibly. I think if Critter misses this game, I think they probably lose, because I thought Raiders were incredible. I thought they were really, really good, real gutsy. Not perfect, far from it. Fogarty versus Burton, I think I was really looking forward to that kicking match. I think Burton got him. Burton, they're pretty lucky in missing 2 conversions. It was, I thought there was massive chunks of this game where Canberra were substantially better than the Bulldogs. Thing with the Bulldogs, but this is the thing too. I'm not bagging the Bulldogs here, because at the end of the day, a Bulldogs player did the things they do to get done. So the Bulldogs won. I'm not saying they were bad. I'm just saying it took some pretty crazy individual brilliance. It wasn't like that one try where Bronson Sherry stripped him for numbers and went down the left. That was great team play. The other ones was just literally Crichton being skits. So, but having said that, Bulldogs have been winning games on team effort and all that sort of stuff. So, not too worried about that. But yeah, I do think Bulldogs are winning games, but they're other than last week, they've just been winning them. So let's have a look what the Bulldogs have to do to make it home, guys. Ooh. Bulldogs. That was a brilliant game from the Doggies too. This one here against the Knights. Thought that was probably one of the best they've looked. Another big win. That's right. They just owned Newcastle this year, haven't they? Yeah, so pretty much if we come... This is what I was saying. So Bulldogs fans sort of shifted the goalposts a bit. Now they're just making the finals and getting bounced out, I think, is not their goal. But so pretty much since this Parramatta game, this was Parramatta without anyone either, they've gone 4-point win, loss, 1-point win, 1-point win, 2-point loss. Beautiful game against the Dogs. And now 4... You get what they're red line and hard. So they really need to... they'll just love a game, a bit like the Broncos game. They'd love a couple games, not even where they blow them off the park like this, where they just Get the queue in the rack a little bit. Get Matt Burton off 15 minutes early so he can have a rest, like... Even just kick out, but just playing with violence, the more, it'd be nice to get him a rest, stuff like that. Even Reid Marnie. Reid Marnie's playing 80 minutes, making 60 tackles a game. Then you've got to come in the finals and bring that intent, take it up a notch. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're redlining the whole way, and then you come up against a fresh Manly. You're like, whew, it's going to be tough. But let's have a look at their run home. So they've got Dragons, tough game. Dolphins playing for the season. It's going to be tough too. Warriors, they've probably got lucky here. Warriors probably have put the queue in the rack, but they still got to travel for it. They've got to travel to Bundaberg here too. So they've got to travel to Mount Jubilee. I know it's not far, but travel. Then they've got another away game, then another away game. Then they come home to Belmore to play the Seagulls. Thank God that's not away from home. That would have been very tough for them to win. And then they've got Cowboys at home. So they finish with... They've got a bit of a road trip. And then they've got 2 wins. They're 2 games at home to lock it up. Now, I don't see Seagulls putting the queue in the rack. I don't see the Cowboys putting the queue in the rack here. I see them, they could both be playing for top 4 spots against, see what I mean? I feel like the Bulldogs have been playing finals for a month now, and they're going to continue to play finals all the way to the finals, if that makes sense. That's the only thing I'm worried about with the Bulldogs. This is going to be a finals game. But having said that, yeah. It's so weird. I feel like they should be higher up the ladder. I know they're coming 5th and that's great, but I feel like they've been winning enough games to be higher on the ladder. But yeah, so this will be like another finals game. It's a massive game because, again, I know it's weird. Like, they're coming 5th. It's great. And they've been winning all their games lately, but... Again, if let's say Seagulls win and Dragons win and they lose, they slip 2 spots, and Cowboys win, like they could be in 8th next weekend. Oh no, they wouldn't. Actually, no, they wouldn't because they got better for and against than the Dragons. But they could be in 7th. You get what I mean? I feel like I've been saying that for like 2 weeks, and they've won 2 weeks in a row. They could be in 7th if they lose next week, but then they've won and they still sit in 5th. It's weird. But yeah, that is a huge game. I can't wait for that. Dargans fans, that's going to be sold out as well. Man, we're going to break some records for a crowd attendance this year. The NRL. Whew. Yeah, okay, then Dolphins. Yeah, they just better hope they don't. Yeah. But look, Bulldogs need 1 game to probably play finals out of these. And they need 2 to guarantee it. I can see 2 wins here, so I think they're playing finals. I think they can win this one. They're pretty firm favourites too, and I think they can win the Wars game. So they could be locked in to play finals before round 26. But then you don't want to go loss coming into the finals either. Because that's the thing too. Let's say they go win. Let's just say they lose that one. And then they win, and they're sitting pretty. They're looking nice, locked in a final spot. Then you go loss. You're probably sitting back in 7th or 8th and having to play Manly or someone like that in the finals too. So, yeah. And then who was the night? Raiders. I think Raiders fans, I love you. I've been pumping you up all year, but I think that might have been it for you. I know obviously you can easily still play finals if you win enough games. The issue is you're playing pretty good footy. You're not playing incredible footy. You're playing pretty damn good footy. Seagulls, Cowboys at home, Penny Panthers, Roosters, Dargans. I'm going to have to call it now, guys. I don't see them winning enough games to play finals. I think they had to win this one against the Bulldogs. So 9 wins. I can see them getting 2, and I think that might send them a game short. And 4 and against isn't great either, so I don't think they'll jump a couple teams just in case they do end up even. So yeah, a little bit of a tough run home there for the Raiders, and it sort of sucks. They had such a good year. A lot of people had them for the spoon. So say Raiders finished 10th this year, I reckon they could just sit there and go, you know what, not quite the result we wanted, but you know what? It could have been worse. We lost our halfback for over half the season. We fought. We had each other's backs. We went good, and I think with Strange with another year on his belt, work with his combinations with his left edge there, I think they're a real chance. So shout out to the Raiders. I think they're going to be a pretty damn good team next year. They've locked up a few of those good young forwards too. With all due respect to guys like Huddy, not Hudson Young, what's his bloody name? Second row. Elliot Whitehead. It was evident how much slower he was than like Kicks and Preston. He's. I'm not saying he played a year too long. Legend, club legend. But yeah, he was had zero impact. I haven't seen him had. I think his first game back after the injury I was like, Jesus, wow, an incredible comeback game. But a little bit quiet since then. I think they could do with a little bit of extra pace on an edge there. And Morgan Smithies too. I feel like he's trying to play a little too sideways. I'd love if I was not Jordan Ricky. If I was Ricky Stewart, I'd just be sitting him down, showing him Paddy Carrigan highlights, or I'd be locking him in a room like itchy and scratchy there with his eyes taped open, just watching Pat Carrigan. I think he can be Pat Carrigan for them. Just pick when you're going to run. I feel like he doesn't get in the way, but I feel like he runs up, he gets the ball, he runs the line, shifts. I'm like, bro, you're a big, strong, aggressive ball running. Like I think running with a little bit more venom in behind the ruck and just to get quick play the balls for you to get the outside backs going. That's what Pat Carrigan did last year so well. Like who at Flegs would go, Payne would go, whoever. He IQ'd it and just goes, yep, there's space there. At worst, they're going to tackle me around my hips and legs and I'm going to get a quick play of the ball. Then they'd shift out wide and there's space. I think Raiders have lacked being able to get the ball to an edge quickly when with an overlap. So that's what I'll be doing if I was Morgan Smithies. Stop showing him our Isaiah Yeo highlight reels and just lock him in a room watching Brisbane Broncos games. Just snippet it up. Just every single carry that Pat Carrigan has made at Origin or for the Brisbane Broncos, put them in a highlight reel, a snippet, and just play it until. And that's what I think Smithies is much better off there. I don't like him ball playing as much, just as not as much. We saw Isaiah Yeo do it. He was a devastating lock that ran like. Just pretty much played like another front rower. Then he added the ball playing, and it was like, whoa, this dude's the best lock in the game. Then he ball played too much, and then it was like, a little bit too sideways. Then he dialed it back a bit, and he find that nice balance again. So I just feel like he ball plays a little bit too much. Look, Critter, GOAT performance, best signing of the year, best centre in the comp. Enormous. Don't have enough positive words to say him. I felt like Burton had saved the doggies. Not last week, the last couple of weeks. To me, it was Critter. He was great. Forward pack just doing enough to get it done. I thought Samuel Hughes, probably his best game. He really went up against a really good forward pack. And I don't know if he won. Well, he didn't win tough and he was better. But he held his own against one of the best front rowers in the comp. I thought Kurt Mann was good. Jacob Preston was pretty solid. I thought Haywood came on and was pretty damn good too. And I was really impressed with Harry Hayes, the thickest neck in the NRL. Fogarty was okay. And they were just peppering our Matt Burton side. Really, I think that was a tactic of theirs, trying to tire out the Bulldogs' left edge, which is their potent edge. And I think it sort of worked. Like I said, I could not believe when someone said, the Doggies fan said, I think Doggies were the better team first to 80th minute. I don't think it was remotely like that. Kyle Weeks looks nice on his feet. He moves a bit like Hammer. Real big, strong hips. Super fast, lightning quick, hard to get down. But yeah, look, like I said, Raiders, you're a fan, don't lose hope. But I'd crossing them off playing finals with a pencil with an eraser on the back, just in case I look a little silly, I can erase it. But yeah. All right, guys, so that's it. We'll quickly preview next week's games really quickly. And I've already sort of half done it because we've sort of been looking at more runs home as we get a little closer. Storm versus Bunnies. Whew. Sucks to be a Bunnies fan. Sharks versus... This is going to be good. Friday night, 6 p.m. That's going to be awesome. Friday night, Parramatta versus the Panthers. Then we have the Raiders versus the Seagulls. Cowboys versus the Broncos. Saturday, 5:30. And then we have the St George versus the Bulldogs. What day? Oh, that's on Saturday. Oof, that's going to be huge. Dolphins versus the Warriors and Knights. It's not a great round of footy, to be fair. Like, I think it'll be the week after that'll be the good one. Yeah, oof. Thursday night, Storm versus the Panthers. Oh, then Seagulls versus the Wars. Bulldogs versus Dolphins is good. Cowboys versus Raiders is good. St George versus Titans, that would probably knock one of them out of contention if they're both still winning. And then Sharkies Knights, and then Brisbane get the bye. Yeah, okay. It's going to be good, lads. All right, bros, you know what it means. If you made it this far, you're an absolute legend. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.